So apparently we're supposed to accept the fact that games are just meant to just disappear after we pay for it. Fuck us, right? We spend 30, 40, 50, 60, maybe $80, if you will, maybe more than 100 if you're feeling a little festive on a special edition of the game. And let's say in the next few years, the developer says, hey, we're going to stop supporting this game, we're shutting down the servers, and you're just accepting that. Well, this is kind of the situation that we are dealing with right now. As you know, I've mentioned this many times, I made videos about this in the past. This has been going on for a good while when I say you don't own your games. You own licenses to your games, but the license of said game can be revoked. There are many factors that may happen in your gaming space that if this particular instance were to happen, you would have no access to your favorite game. May the developers just shut down the live service of the game. May there be a time where like the internet just goes blank or the server goes blank, like the PlayStation outage. A lot of these things can come into play and you have no access to your games. And we're just gonna sit here and act like this is totally normal. This is fine. Like this is completely cool. That's totally reasonable. Like, yeah, if the internet goes out, of course I can't play God of War. Like, duh. Like, it has to connect to the internet somehow. And with that said, we need to talk about the slow motion collapse of Stop Killing Games campaign. A movement built to stop companies from pulling the plug on digital games, the one that is now eating itself alive thanks to bad timing, online beef, and a healthy dose of corporate or politics just don't care. So to take things from the top, you have a gentleman by the name of Ross Scott. Ross Scott is the face behind the Stop Killing Games movement. He's from Occurred Farms. He used to develop The Crew, which was published by Ubisoft, until one day Ubisoft just did like the Thanos like finger snap, and then The Crew servers was gone. Unplayable. Like, you cannot play it at all. Like, gamers just saw that and it sucked for them because the gamers now have The Crew that's just gone. They can't play it. They own nothing, but Ubisoft walked away with everything. This is what Ross Scott is trying to fight. He's not trying to, push for miracles or anything like that. He's just explaining to people and promoting a campaign where, hey, we have this thing, we have video games that is currently being held hostage by a lot of publishers, where if they feel the need to not support a game anymore, that they could just cut the servers and then that's all, folks. But instead, these same companies should just release patches where they would just include like an offline mode or include other services or open their servers so that players can just play the game however they want for as long as they want, even if the game isn't being supported. The wild concept called preservation. But then things are starting to get very sticky. Sticky in a sense that things are moving in slow motion because of online beef, misrepresentation, and a whole lot. There's a lot of drama going on, and this is the worst time for it because we have a deadline that has to be met in the next few weeks, in which I will explain in a bit. But as far as beef goes, we need to introduce another gentleman by the name of Jason Hall. Jason Hall, known as Pirate Software. You may have seen him on social media a bit with like a few clips where he shares his takes on like the gaming industry. He's also a game developer. He's also a YouTube content creator. Well, he kind of disagrees with the Stop Killing Games movement. Now, between Ross and Jason, it's turning to like a whole nerdy argument that you would see on Reddit. He said that the movement was unrealistic, it's vague, this hurts game developers, especially indie devs. Basically, what Jason Hall is trying to argue is that this thing, the Stop Killing Games movement, is harmful for game developers, especially indie games. Like, his take was basically, okay, you have an indie game dev that develops a game, and let's say preservation is a thing and they have to keep the servers up. Who's going to pay for those servers to stay up? the indie game developer. That is actually going to eat away at their profits because they have to keep these servers going. That's not a good thing. Some publishers are able to do it. They have the money, they have the funds and the resources to do that. But then you have other game developers that just can't front that bill, so they have no choice but to shut down these servers to cut costs. But of course, Ross is going to step in and he's going to respond to Pirate Software because, of course, he is the face of this. This man has put time, energy, even his income into this movement. This is a man that is fighting for a game industry. He gives a damn. And of all times where we have 4 weeks remaining when it comes to the deadline for this petition, you have a popular content creator on YouTube that's saying, yeah, this movement is complete bullshit. This isn't going to happen. It's unrealistic. Like, this is really bad. Like, we're shitting on the same person that is giving a damn about your game library. So, of course, Ross is going to post a little over a 1-hour video on his argument, especially towards Jason Hall, Pirate Software, about this whole thing. You can check it out. I can put the link in the description down below if you ever want to check it out. Now, as far as the petition goes, he does have a petition. There's 2 petitions you need to look out for. There's the European Union one, and then there's the UK one. If I remember correctly, I think the UK one deadline is on the first week of July, whereas the European Union petition is like on July 13th, like the second week, somewhere around there. So basically what we have going on is it's halfway through, which is actually really bad. So at this pace of these petitions coming through, we might not be able to reach the threshold to present this to the parliament. And Ross Scott already said it. Once this thing doesn't go through, he's done. He's not gonna fight the fight, and we have to respect his peace. Again, this man put time, energy, his income into giving a damn about the gaming industry, and we have people that are saying, yeah, like, this is bullshit. This is gonna hurt us more than anything. Like, I don't understand this. Like, it's so absolutely wild because we are gamers. I'm assuming whoever you are sitting in front of this screen, you are a gamer. You probably love video games. You invest a lot of time into gaming. You invest a lot of money into gaming. Gaming, we could say, is a dedicated hobby for you. Now, imagine pouring all this time, all this money into this hobby to not give a damn about your game library or the access to your game library. Like, imagine not giving a shit about the fact that any publisher can look at your favorite game and say, yeah, we're shutting everything down. And we don't care how much money you spent. It's our game. You only own the license to the game. We have every right to revoke that, and that's that. And imagine all of us just bending over with our cheeks spread out and just taking it, you know, just not even putting up a fight. Like, it's so terrible. We put too much time into this to not give a shit. So what happens when you purchase like rented access, or when Steam goes dark, or when the PlayStation outage happens again? What we're gonna do? Just like scroll through our TikToks and just, you know, oh, you know, it is what it is. You know, I can't access my game library, even though they're single player games, whatever, like, it is what it is. Like, it's so crazy. So here's the real kicker with this whole thing. It matters. All of this matters. Like, whether you loved Battleborn or Lawbreakers or some indie game that only had like 5 active players at its peak throughout the month, if you bought the game, you get to play the game. Full stop. That's it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't understand why this has to be an argument. If I spend money on something that I want to play anytime I want, I should own it. Like, full stop. So unless this magically picks up steam, Ross is just going to walk away from this. And again, as I mentioned earlier, he deserves his peace. We're not looking for like a slam dunk of a movement. We're not looking for double the required petitions or anything like that. We're just asking the gaming community as a whole, hey, if you could give us like an ounce of a fuck, just like an ounce of, okay, maybe I care a little, just enough to sign a petition, that in itself makes a difference. But with the way how this petition is going and the amount of, the lack of signatures that we're getting in this petition, it's looking like the only way we're going to be able to achieve this is if Epic Games just woke up in a bad mood one day and decide, hey, we're just gonna kill Fortnite. Just, hey, God, fuck it, we're just gonna kill Fortnite. And then imagine everybody that spent time and money into Fortnite gets very upset and then they sign the petition. I feel that is like the only way we're going to magically get this petition to hit over like 1,000. But, I mean, not 1,000, what am I saying? Like 1,000,000. But until then, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of bad timing. The online beef could have came at a worse time. Like, this whole thing is a mess. It's just so sad that we're about to expose either one of two truths. Either one, gamers as a whole community genuinely care about their gaming library and they're willing to put up a fight. Or two, the gaming community just doesn't care unless games like Fortnite or Call of Duty just decides to just cut everything off. Like, I feel as if that's the only way we're going to create some real change or at least motivate people to actually fight back. So, yeah, like, Stop Killing Games is dying, not because it's a wrong movement or it's misrepresenting the whole thing, but because the internet's attention span is literally, like, as short as, like, the Lawbreakers player count. So if you give a damn about the gaming industry and your gaming library, I have links in the description down below with all the resources you need to make a difference in this movement. And if you don't, then that's completely fine too. It's a choice. It's a choice, but that's completely fine. Just don't be surprised when your next favorite game just goes completely offline, no offline modes or anything, and it just fades away like a fart in the wind. But until then, y'all, that's really all I have. I'll catch y'all in my next video. Peace.